Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar! You liar!
Oh, it's a manic, mayhem-filled Monday in the world of SHTF. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a moment. There, now you can see the fresh flat top. That's right, folks. The prepared hair is back. Neatly done by my favorite barber. Now, it has hit the fan, folks. Are you prepared for it? Are you? Because it's coming. It's coming real fast. Real fast. We're going to hit everything. Get your questions down below. We got Ooman. He'll be taking your questions. He's in the house, but they are turning it up bigger than shit right now. Right now. Let me get to it. I want to start. I want to start with this. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Damn. Where the hell is it? Here we are. This is great. Michelle Obama sounds the alarm about 2024. You know what she's talking about? The election. Here's her quote. I am terrified about what could possibly happen. End quote. Where's my tough acting for my itchy balls, Obama? Where are you? I know, Barack, you've got my itchy ball powder. Oh, you're still listening. Fucking weirdos. Yeah, she's terrified about what could possibly happen. Folks, every Democrat right now is absolutely terrified that Trump could win. No matter how much they cheat, they can't cheat enough, they're thinking, because Obama is so far in the pits. Now, I was getting my hair cut, and the barber shop was abuzz with old men discussing violence, chaos, shooting, civil war, partisan conflict. That's how I phrased it. It was buzzing with it, folks. And then my barber predicted that Gavin Newsom is going to be the replacement candidate for the Democrats. You know, J.P. Morgan, they predicted that Biden is going to drop out for health reasons. He is such a piss-poor candidate. I think the J.P. Morgan specialist, I thought they were financial specialists, not political scientists. Anyways, they said between Super Tuesday and Election Day, if he doesn't leave the contest now, whoever is the replacement candidate will not have enough time to pick up any steam, to get any support. And remember, folks, Gavin Newsom debated, well, Governor DeSantis from Florida. And he got his fucking clock cleaned. Now, DeSantis is a great governor. Anyone who says different is full of shit and lying to themselves. They do want to see Trump as president, and I get it. My barber shop was all Trump all the time. That's fine. That's fine. Because that's what we're going to get. And Michelle Obama is terrified. All Democrats are terrified. But understand this. For them, it's a win-win in the Democrat Party. If Biden were to win, or whatever replacement they throw in there, well, then they got another loser to destroy this fucking country. And the Democrats will go nuts and come after you and me. And if Trump wins, it will be even worse for us because the Democrats will lose their shit and come after us. It is going to get nasty. I have never heard a barbershop more pro. We need to fix this country than what I heard today. Never have I heard it this way. They're pissed off, folks. They're fucking ripe as fuck for a fight. And I said, hey, what do you think all the old veterans are thinking? They're like, the old veterans are pissed off, and of course there's a bunch in there, I'm telling you. And when I say old, I was the young guy at 53. I'm the young guy. I'm always the young guy. Okay, let us continue. Let us with tomatoes and sauce. Anyways, I want to get into this, right? The Democrats are going to go ape shit if Joe Biden wins, and they're going to go great gonzo ape shit if Trump wins. And the police in Pittsburgh, that's right, the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the police are warning the public is, quote, at risk. Why? Because of staffing shortages. That's right, there's not enough police in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Why not? Could it be because BLM has convinced lawmakers to defund the police? Could city councils be holding back funding? Or could it be the policemen themselves are like, you know what? Peace out, motherfuckers. I don't want to be part of your big city blue butt fest of screwing everyone over. I can't remember what fucking police station or police precinct it was. There was a pride parade and a bunch of police showed up to participate in the pride parade. Oh, well, enjoy yourself. These fruitcakes have asked for it, and they're going to get it. But understand this, preppers, patriots, Americans, parents, hunters, sportsmen, you are on your own. That's a direct quote from the police officers I talked to back in 2020. Remember 2020? Remember that year? Everyone locked down. Oh, except rioting minority assholes who are complete and total racists who want to attack everyone and call them Nazis, regardless of whether you're black or white. That's right, black Nazis out there, black white supremacists out there. Everyone was evil if you opposed them. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, you couldn't say jack shit about Jews or Israelis or nothing. And you were an anti-Semite. Well, in the last, 12 months, this country's turned around and it's Jew this and Jew that and fuck them and kill them all and genocide. Oh, it's turned around, folks, and you are on your own. You're Jewish, you're on your own. Your parents, you're on your own. You're black and Republican. You need to watch your black. You need to watch your back if you're black and Republican. Native American, Japanese, Chinese, name your race, you're on your own. Veterans, you know what to do. Sportsmen, you know what to do. Angry constitutional Americans, you know what's coming. You are on your own. Pittsburgh is not the only police department that has staffing shortages. Period. Period. I tell you. Here we go next. Are you ready? They've identified the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police officer who fired stinger ball munitions into the Trump crowd on January 6th without warning, which started the riot. That's right. The police acted first. They now know who this son of a bitch is. They nailed his ass. Oh, let me check that watch. Let me check this watch. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for an investigation from the DC fuckers, the police, the Department of Justice, somebody, anyone. Bueller. It would take an act of Congress, literally, and they still would not have to obey a demand for an investigation into these motherfuckers for what they did. The other day, they identified who threw the man off the balcony. We know who shot Ashley Babbitt. Right? They're finding out who these sons of bitches are, folks. Do you want to know why they didn't want to release the January 6 tapes? Because it exonerated the protesters for not being the ones who started the protest riot. They were peacefully protesting. The film identifies Antifa. It identifies FBI agents. The films, the video footage identifies the police inviting people in. The film demonstrates, all of the video footage demonstrates the peacefulness of the crowd. 4 Trump supporters were killed. Not one single policeman died of violence that day. It's all in the videotapes. You want to know why Kevin McCarthy, disgraced scumbag Republican congressman, why he didn't want to release him? Because of the same thing. It was Officer Jimmy Chrisman, who is a violent terrorist thug working for the D.C. Metropolitan Police, according to Gateway Pundit. He fired stinger ball ammunition into the crowd and started a riot. They got his face. They got his name on his little thing. He's been identified, folks. They didn't want to let this out, so we couldn't identify who they were and what they were doing. The SOP that they have for before using such things is to give three audible warnings, and it has to be verified by an officer standing at the back of the crowd to ensure that the crowd could hear it. This was never done, folks. They incited violence. They injured people. They killed people. Roseanne Boyland. The one lady was punched in the face 36 fucking times by these people. Are you prepared for what comes next? I don't think, folks, it takes a rocket scientist to understand the trouble there is in Washington, D.C. And this is how fucked up these people are. They don't care. They don't care. The border is open. The border is open. The Biden regime, the Biden totalitarian regime, folks, doesn't care. In fact, rather than deal with the lawlessness in Washington, D.C., and from the FBI, despite all the problems in D.C., it's more important for them to remove the statue of William Penn. That's right, because they're going to do a rehab project to commemorate Native Americans. Now, I don't have any problem with commemorating famous Native Americans, important Native Americans, to depict in general Native Americans for what they have done for this country, what, you know, whether it was right when the first Pilgrims got here or 100 years later as they helped people settle. Yeah, let's not discuss or mention any of the wars, murders, rapes, kidnappings, etc. by either side. We'll just ignore that and pretend that doesn't exist, right? The same way Democrats want to ignore that they're a bunch of Ku Klux Klan fascist white supremacists, just like Joe Biden. Now, why do they have to take the statue of William Penn down? Are you telling me there's not enough room in the entire state of Pennsylvania or the city of Washington, D.C. to put up statues elsewhere of Native Americans? Every other corner could have a statue of Native Americans and they still wouldn't have to take down William Penn. Claiming they're going to put up statues in a rehabilitation project is their excuse. Because they're fucking liars and they're cowards and they're chicken shit. This is what they're doing to our country, folks. They are rebranding it. They are resetting it. They're claiming it's a democracy when it's a republic. They're saying we don't have to follow the rules. In fact, Nancy Pelosi is out there telling states, you don't have to follow the Constitution. Take Trump off the ballot. What's funny is this is only going to fly in states that Trump wasn't going to win anyways. States like New York, Illinois, or California. Well, oops, California said, no, we're not doing that. You want to know why they're doing that? And they'll try to do it in every blue state. So they can claim when Trump wins that Trump didn't have electoral college votes, nor did he have the popular vote. And if Trump does have the electoral college votes, they'll say, no, Biden had the popular vote. That's why we need democracy and a popular vote system, not the electoral college. Shit, and more shit is coming for you. Are you prepared for it? Period. They're coming, folks. It is coming. Now get this. I want to give you a piece of good news. Down in Mexico, the president of Mexico is making demands of Joe Biden. Since when does the president of an emerging market like Mexico make demands of the United States president? Since when? Well, since America started sending all of its jobs down to Mexico, and for the jobs that remained here, we've been importing workers to do those jobs and claiming no American wants to make $50 an hour working on a farm. No American wants to make $30 an hour working construction, or $40 an hour working construction, or $50 an hour working construction. No. Well, to the contrary, folks, I meet lots of white, black, and other colors, as well as south of the border types who make a lot of money in construction. Now, that being said, let me tell you what the Mexican president demanded. He demanded that Joe Biden give 10 million Mexican / south of the border types legal status in our country. Plus, he wants $20 billion. $20 billion to go to south of the border countries in exchange for their assistance on the United States border. I've got a counter offer for you, Mexican president. Go fuck yourself, asshole. See, this is what we're dealing with. This is how weak Joe Biden is. When a pile of shit president from Mexico can tell our pile of shit president what to do, that's when you know you've got a pile of shit in the White House. We have to give them legal status. Fuck you. We need, look, the proper counter offer is, don't worry, we're sending them back when Trump is president. You can choke on it. I tell you, folks, the barber shop was a great stop for me today. The old man attitude was fuck them and send them back. Who cares what they think? As if Mexico and Latin American countries would come to the U.S. border and protect it. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Why do we have to give them legal status? I'm surprised he didn't say give them citizenship. Legal status means just give them green cards and allow them to be there forever. Essentially, Mexico and Central America have just given us 10 million of their most worthless people. Because the good Mexicans, the good Central Americans, the good Latin Americans were already here, having gotten green cards and working legally. It's the illegals that want assistance. It's the illegals that want freebies. Are you ready for this shit in 2024, folks? And God help the world if Trump wins. I'm not terrified, not like Michelle Obama, husband of Barack Obama. I'm not terrified like that wrench, whatever the hell that person is. It's coming, folks. It is coming. I'm surprised. Let me give you another taste of the shit. The shit. Dang. Uno momento, por favor. Let me give you another taste, another sample of the chaos coming to this country. There is already chaos in New York City. Not only does New York City have a huge number of illegal immigrants, which southern states have been kind enough to ship there to their sanctuary city status. Oh, you're a sanctuary? Well, take a fucking load then. No! That bitch, the mayor, Mayor Adams of New York City, whining. He can't take care of his city. New York City, NYPD is quitting left and right. They can't recruit fast enough. That's why they want to let illegals in the country and make them police officers. They don't know the country. They don't know the culture. They don't know the laws. They don't know the Constitution. They don't care about any of those things either, and they want to make them cops. Well, in New York City, they had chaos break out. Hamas supporters, folks, Hamas is a terrorist group of the most vile scum on the planet, who, while invading to commit acts of terror, stopped because they found young women to rape. That is exactly what these people are, folks. Rapists of every sort. They're intellectual rapists. They're social rapists. They're national rapists. They're raping this country. They're screwing us over. Well, these Hamas supporters in New York City, guess what they did? They have now blocked 3 bridges and the Holland Tunnel because they want Palestine to be free. Palestine is over in Israel, that zone of the world, not in the United States. These people are terrorists. They need to get a very large truck with a big scoop on the front of it and run through that crowd with it and scoop them into the net, tie them into a big fucking bundle, put them on a ship, a cargo ship, and take that cargo ship down and with a large crane pick it up and drop it in Mexico or some Central American country and go, you deal with them. You love these fucking people. They're on your side. Or if we don't want to drop them down there because they're Hamas supporters, catch them in a big cargo net and drag them behind a C-130 across the ocean. We'll even fly at a lower elevation so they don't freeze to death. And drop them in Palestine with a very big parachute. You want to support Hamas? Pick up an AK-47, scrub the rust off of it, and start fighting Israel and the IDF. Leave America out of it, you fuckheads. I'm telling you, I'm in a big, big mood for this. I genuinely am. So you got that kind of terrorism? You want to block bridges? You want to block tunnels? You're fucking done. You're terrorists. In Missouri, the Secretary of State, he is another Republican who has been swatted. That is an act of terror. It is a crime. It is a misuse, right? But it is an attempt at murder to call the police and have them show up at someone's home in riot gear, in SWAT gear, fully armed and ready to deal with a hostage, murder, violent situation. Where's the law? Where are the lawyers with the pre-written, pre-created, no more red flag swatting laws? They came up with this red flag shit years ago. Remember, Kaz? Remember, we were worried they were going to call on gun owners to create problems. Remember that, Uman? Remember that, Vaughn? Remember that talk we had? That was probably one of our early R Syndicate talks, the problem with red flag laws. Well, here we are. Here we fucking are. And they're going after politicians with it. Isn't that just fucking grand? It is time to repeal red flag laws. It is time to make calling the police on someone, filing a false report is a, well, let's just call it a felony. It can be a minor felony, but it is also attempted murder. And that gets you prison time, period. Fuck these people, folks. It's coming. Oh, is this all fear porn? No, it's not. These are news articles that are out there for the world to see. These are actions and activities that are out there to see. Period. Every fucking news story I'm reading you is real. This is not manufactured satire. This is real. And it's almost comical that the world doesn't seem to know this is happening. You want another one? I'll fucking give it to you. Ukraine wants 500,000 new citizens into their military to go fight Russia. They want to mobilize another 500,000 civilians. Well, once they've been handed a uniform and a rifle, Zelensky and Zaluzhny, the head of military, and Zelensky's the head of the civilian government, they're blaming each other for what's going on. Why the fuck are they still fighting? Are they that stupid? Or is this truly genocide and an attempt to create World War III in Central Eastern Europe? You know what it is. This is genocide. This is a attempted murder of Ukraine citizens. Ukraine ethnic peoples. They're slaughtered fucking 500,000. Who's pushing for this war, folks? Is it Zelensky or is it Joe Biden? Is it Zelensky and Zelensky, or is it NATO demanding this fight continue? I don't have to tell you who it is, folks. It's all of them, because they're all profiting from it. Every last one of the bastards. And civilians are dying. Ethnic Ukrainians are getting slaughtered. Oh, well, that would be the military slaughter. In Germany, their business is being slaughtered. Folks, Germany was the industrial engine. It was the muscle of Europe. And they've destroyed it. They're going to destroy it. They went after big industry and said, you can't have any more natural gas. You can't have any more electricity. They shut down all their nuclear power plants years ago. We don't need that nuke. We don't. Oh, now gas is bad. Coal is bad. Where's the power coming from? They fucked up Germany, folks, and now they screwed up the agriculture. In fact, German farmers have now started the largest protest ever. They are blocking roads all over the country. Oh, wait, John, you said that's terrorism. Yeah, it is. It's terrorism, folks. The farmers are going to terrorize the rest of the country, including the government. They're sick and tired of the climate change, climate crisis bullshit. They're tired of it, and they're going to fight back. Well, why is terrorism allowed if you're a pro-Hamas or a pro-racist group, but it's not good if farmers do it? Or you could ask me, why is it good, John, when farmers protest, but it's not good when they block tunnels and freeways and go through neighborhoods terrorizing people? Let me tell you the difference. Farmers produce something. These communist punks, Antifa, BLM, Hamas, all their supporters, all these fucking idiots from North Africa and the Middle East that have moved into Europe to destroy it, they produce nothing. They bring in drugs, they bring in crime, they bring in prostitution. That's what they do. That's all they produce is chaos, loss, destruction, heartache. Shit has hit the fan, has it not? We called it back in 2020, folks. I cracked open my $30 cigar. I had a scotch and I said, that's it, folks. It is here. And it's just going to get worse. What's the only thing, the only reason you and I aren't too upset? Well, because there's not someone out in the street. I don't hear gunfire. I don't hear people screaming. We just haven't got to Mad Max yet. We haven't got to a police state with martial law, curfews, checkpoints, and cops out there sticking their guns in everyone's faces. We haven't got there yet, folks, but understand it is coming. Even the politicians are not safe from what is coming, folks. Understand, Democrats included. They don't realize they've started a shitstorm, and not only are the politicians in trouble, but their parents, their family, their children, their grandchildren, etc., are all on the table. No one is safe when it comes to terrorism, folks, Democrats included. Here's my example. The pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian, pro-terrorist, pro-woman raping, pro-baby killing protesters shut down Joe Biden during one of his bullshit speeches at a black church in South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. No one, folks, even Joe Biden, can have his shit shut down and be harassed. Where was the Secret Service? Or were they overwhelmed? Did they hustle Joe Biden out of there? I don't know. I don't know what the Secret Service thinks of Joe Biden. I know what the Secret Service thought of JFK, and I know what they thought of Ronald Reagan. I know what they thought of Clinton and Obama, and I know what they think of Trump. and Biden. There's good and bad, though, folks. There's good and bad. I'm at the 30-minute mark. Tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to go into the break, a very short break, and do the inner circle. That is your guys' questions. I hope you've got a lot to say and think because a lot has happened today. What do you want to talk about? Oh, hey. I love doing that. Pretend like I was lost in thought. I'm fucking burning up, pissed off. What do you want to talk about? Mr. Uman, if you will. Let's start with Chin Music. He usually comes out the box pretty hard and fast. He says, why is Big Mike terrified? He's big enough to take care of himself. Yeah, he is on his own if he needs to be. Big Mike has shoulders that make most bodybuilders jealous. Big Mike. I believe Big Mike Obama, Michael Obama. I believe he is terrified that nobody will care to, if the terrorists take over the country, nobody will care to attack and have sex with him. He's probably terrified that somebody is going to whip his pants down and expose him to the world. You know, it's interesting to me, in a world that is just in love with LGBTQIA plus types, they think it's all fashionably fucking cool. You would think that he would just come out and say, hey, take a look at these pearlies, and lift up his skirt and show everyone his scrotum. You would think so, but why is he still hiding it? We have all seen the nuts and berry jumbly mix as Big Mike walks across the stage wearing a dress. We've all seen it. We've all seen Michael, the various pictures of the Obama bulge. Do Michael and Barack's children, do they have driver's licenses? If so, in what state? Does the public have a right to view their birth certificates? You have to provide a birth certificate, or at least you used to get a driver's license. You have to prove who the fuck you are. I wonder if their birth certificates name biological parents, which would indicate that their daughters have been adopted. Hey, look, maybe Michelle just has an enormous clam that flops about like it's a wiener. Maybe that's the problem there. Maybe we all owe her a big apology. But I've seen a scowl on her face that would make Bigfoot crap his pants if he had any on. So I don't think, he needs to be terrified of anything. Wow. It's here. Shit It's the Fan is officially here. Within 6 feet of me, folks, is all the protection I need so I don't feel terrified. A little bit this way, a little bit that way. It's all right here in the happy bunker. I feel extremely safe. I'm ready for them to pull their shit. Essentially, in the Prepared Mind bunker, you guys have helped me cache my own Piggly Wiggly type store full of tuna fish and Spam, pork and beans, chili, etc. I'm good. I'm ready. I got caveman meat. I got canned meat ready to go. Let's go, World Economic Forum. Everyone, folks, is at risk. Do you think those rich, dumb sons of bitches are going to be exempt from the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, pro-terrorist types? No, I bet they're going to have small armies trying to protect them, folks. It'll be interesting. It will definitely be interesting to see how this all shakes down in the end. Mr. Ooman, who is next? We got name redacted. And this is what he has to say. He wants to discuss Michael Obama as well. He says, name redacted, says, my understanding is that Mike Robinson, Big Mike, grew up in Jesse Jackson's house. I've never heard that. Seems interesting to me. Martin Luther King Jr.'s world has been turned upside down. No longer is it about the content of your character. It is all about the color of your skin. I watched a movie the other day, which I found to be ridiculously humorous. And it starred The Rock. The movie was called Baywatch, a ridiculous comedy. But I was feeling lighthearted and giddy Saturday night, and I thought, what the hell? Let's have some fun. And it cracked me up. The Rock, Mr. Johnson, is supposed to be a person of color. You know what he looks like to me? He looks like a white guy with a really good tan. I know he's supposed to be Polynesian and maybe part black. Doesn't look black to me at all. But it's about the color of your skin, I guess. Or I don't get it. I just don't fucking get it anymore. I really don't. You can be half black and you're still black. You can be quarter black and you're still black. You can be an eighth and you're still black. You can just claim to be black and you're black. I guess I'm never going to be there. Maybe I'm just jealous. What a fucking sham. Big Mike, yeah. Grew up in Jesse Jackson's house. Jesse Jackson. It was interesting. In the 80s, he was a viable Democrat candidate for president. Do you believe that for a single fucking second? As a kid, I thought it was interesting. As an adult, age what, 25 on to today, I thought, there's no fucking way Jesse Jackson was going to be put in the position to be president of the United States. They weren't ready to use their plantation boy as president. That was Barack's job. And I will call him plantation boy because he does as he's told. I don't want to use any other term because Uncle Tom is typically used for black Republicans. I'm tired of this third rail shit. You can't talk about blacks. You can't talk about Jews. You can't talk about Native Americans. You can't talk about Asians. You can't talk about Orientals. You can't talk about people who are, I don't know, what term do you call people of Middle Eastern descent? Well, it used to be that they're Arabs. Well, that's only if they're from Arabia. So is that a pejorative term? The whole thing is bullshit. You can't say the N-word because we all don't know what the N-word means. N, right? It's bullshit. But you can call me cracker. You can now call Jews Jews and say that you hate them and want to kill them. Right? They've divided everyone. They truly have. They divided everyone. They pissed everyone off. They've terrified the people in the Democrat side so that they're terrified and they're having violent reactions to Republicans who are like, what I do? Right? But they've now pissed off the Republican side enough with all of this crap. The upshot of it all, folks, is I think everyone's ready to just get down. But there's one more piece of the pie I want to bring up right now. Are you prepared? And I'll tell you why they're doing this as well. The Gateway Pundit is reporting that more Epstein documents have been released, and there are allegedly sex tapes of Bill Clinton that show his face Epstein sex tapes of Bill Clinton, which clearly show his face. Rutro raggy. Yeah, folks. Do you believe it? I wouldn't doubt it, knowing Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. I wouldn't doubt it. But this is a big rutro. I mean, how many people have to be Arkancided? What's the number? Is it over 130 or was it 230? I can't remember. But we had all better think twice about what is happening. Why are they now outing Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Republicans, Democrats? Why are they doing this? Why are they claiming, hey, there is a high dollar brothel in Virginia and is being paid for by Russians and Chinese to honeypot military officers, Washington, D.C. scumbags, super rich types? Why is this part coming out now? Well, I'll answer the question here in a minute. But Gateway Pundit also reports, and I want you to decide, Hillary Clinton sent, according to the Epstein documents, sent a henchman, an Arkansider, to intimidate one of Epstein's victims. And by the way, the footage of Bill Clinton has been backed up onto USB memory sticks. There's a claim that there's payouts from the Clinton Foundation, that there's an FBI cover-up, but that it's out there. It is now out of the box. The Clintons are being exposed. Why? Why? Shocking to me, stunning to me, that the people who are most dangerous to liberty, people that are just absolute terrorists when it comes to our constitutional republic, are now being outed. Not just the Clintons, folks, but all of them. All of them. In fact, there is a, I saw a picture. I just looked at one. I didn't want to look at all of them. But from Epstein's pedo island, amid allegations of Bill Clinton and sex tapes, and Hillary Clinton, and other high-powered politicians, new pictures of what appear to be underage girls are out there. I told you a few days ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, the floodgates are open. There is now a shitstorm dead ahead, Captain. Right? Is this just a major distraction? Is it a major? What is it doing? It is destroying the credibility of all elected officials in Washington. Their world credibility, voter credibility with them, Wall Street confidence, financial confidence, monetary confidence. The world is selling their bonds. They're getting rid of U.S. bonds. They don't want to support the United States anymore. In fact, even in Los Angeles, Jim Gaffigan, who's been doing comedy as long as I can remember, back into the 80s. I think I remember seeing him when he was a young man, Jim Gaffigan. I believe he was on Rodney Dangerfield's young comedian show. You saw a lot of people back on that. Roseanne Barr, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison. Yeah, long fucking time ago. Anyways, I think I saw Jim Gaffigan on there at one point, but still, he's been around forever, regardless. He was part of an awards show, and the Hollywood elites had him up there, and he called them out as pedophiles. They're calling them out, folks. It is to discredit this country, the leadership, the system, and everything. It is a part of bringing everything down. Now, I don't believe Hillary and Bill are going to be arrested, because who would have to arrest them? The FBI. Is the FBI ultimately the deep state control, the bureaucracy that controls everything else through the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office? Or is someone taking the power away from the Clintons and neutering them? Is there another group that is going to neuter the Obamas, neuter the Bidens, neuter the old school people. Didn't they already neuter the Pelosi's? Ask Hammer Ass how that feels. Right? But they're all there, folks. They're all wanting to pick up the pieces and create a new nation, a new democracy that they get to run. Or is it going to be the World Economic Forum that says, yeah, see, all you politicians are bad. We need a world system of government. We need to globalize it all. I guess we'll figure it out. We'll find out. All right, Mr. Uman, let's get back to what you guys want to talk about. I just couldn't leave that one alone. Okay. I've heard of this guy before. I think I know who this is. Barking Wolf Spider says, what is the definition of a socialist? Someone who wants everything you have except your job and your bills and your responsibilities. But here, what is the definition of a communist? Barking Wolf Spider. Uman, do you know what the definition of a communist is? It is a socialist in a big hurry. That is what a communist is. And now we know what a socialist is. Thank you, Barking Wolf Spider. Okay, let's go again. Let's get it on, man. I'm in a fucking mood today. Uman said, saw a story today that Illinois' House wants to initiate legislation to confiscate all non-registered assault weapons. What could possibly go wrong? Question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. You know what, Newman? I know you live in the state of Illinois. I know you do, and I don't want to see that happen and have good Americans killed. At the same time, it is time to get it on with these fuckers. It is. It's coming. Now, Uman has this to say. Most Illinois sheriffs have said they will not enforce the ban unless there is such weapon used in a crime. They're threatening the sheriffs now as well. Now, Governor Pritzker in Illinois is a giant fascist slob. He is a fucking hypocrite. He is a corrupt piece of shit. That is what I think of him. I think he makes Blagojevich look like a choir boy. That's just my opinion. Now, the sheriffs in the counties of Illinois, as well as every other county, are the most powerful elected people when it comes to law enforcement. Within their county, every sheriff is the head of law enforcement, and they do not have to do anything they're told. Now, get this. If the president of the United States can tell the Border Patrol to not enforce any law, and so they've stopped enforcing the law and they're allowing everyone in the country, come on in. No accountability. They don't have to enforce the law, then every sheriff can say, you know what? I'm not enforcing law. In fact, there is no law that is unconstitutional that anyone, sheriff or police department, has to enforce. In fact, sanctuary cities, you've got criminals running everywhere. Up one side, down the other. Just criminal fuckers everywhere. And they won't go arrest them. In Chicago, they know who the gangs are. They know where the gangs are. But they're not going to go in there because they don't want to get shot to shit. If Governor Pritzker thinks for a fucking hot second that the good people of Illinois, who have a Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed, means by the state or the feds, period, by local police or sheriff's department, shall not be infringed. If they think the gangs are bad, you just fucking wait and see if they try confiscating anyone's weapon, whether it's an assault rifle or a shotgun or a handgun, what have you. All it will take is a dozen well-trained men to go take that sheriff's department down. Period. You get some retired operators out there, they can train the fuck out of veterans and civilians and hunters and sportsmen. This country is full of people who know how to handle and shoot firearms. All they need, if they don't already have it, is paramilitary training. And it won't take long to get there. And you combine that with American know-how, and I've fucking had enough, and that is a recipe to remove any law enforcement that is violating our rights. This coming partisan conflict, folks, is going to be interesting as a spectator sport. And it is going to be one wild ride if it occurs for everyone who is participating. I don't wish it. I don't want it. It's not up to me. I just know that there is going to be hell to pay. If your mom never said that, that's okay. You're hearing it now. But every time I heard that as a kid, there's going to be hell to pay for that. I was like, I know, Mom, I get it. I fucked up, right? If there is hell to pay for putting a scratch in the car, how much hell is there to pay for fucking with people's rights? They have done enough. They have taxed the living shit out of us. They have stolen our fucking wealth, ruined our currency, right? They violated our rights on every fucking level. From owning a house, owning a car, having a job. Governments at every level have fucked things up and stolen from us and convinced us through their lies that it's completely normal and legal for them to do such things. There's going to come a point when that gets flipped on its head. And everyone who has a badge is going to be like, I don't need that thing anymore. And they're going to drop it. That's why I think sheriffs who know better are going to have to take a step back and go, you're right. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth, Seventh, Eighth, and 10th. Well, hell, all of them. Fuck it. All of them matter. Declaration of Independence, folks, should be pinned up at the entrance to every single government building so that every government worker sees exactly what the government was stopped from doing 250 fucking years ago. It's less than 250, but in there. They were doing it 250 years ago. They were doing it, folks, 260 years ago. It's just people finally had enough of that shit. Chin Music says, who's going to sign up for that kamikaze mission? Ooh, man. Uh-huh. If it's a kamikaze mission to go into Southside Chicago to try and clean up the drug dealers, the gangs, the warlords, the prostitution rings, if they can't clean up organized crime, which is just a couple of hundred people here and a couple hundred people there, how are they going to go after tens of thousands of lawful Americans who have guns and know how to shoot them? Not like this. Like this. Sight alignment, sight picture. Clear front sight tip, squeeze the trigger. Breathe in, breathe out, squeeze. It's all very simple. Barking Wolf Spider wants to step up. He says, I definitely would not want to be the first one through the door for gun confiscation. Now, I've made this prediction and talk in the past. Day one, they start at the end of a street. By the end of the day, several police officers will be shot. Several citizens will be shot. That night, everyone on the fucking planet is going to be aware confiscation has begun. Half of the people will probably go put them out on their doorstep for collection. 25% will go bury what they have in the backyard. The other 25% is going to still outnumber the police by over 1,000%. It's a no contest. It would be a suicide mission to try and follow those orders. But a fat sack of shit like Prickster or Gavin Newsom or Governor Hochul or Governor Gretchen Whitmer, they're stupid enough, selfish enough to send those men to get murdered. Now, let me tell you about California real quick while we're talking about guns, damn it. A federal appeals court has now blocked California's law banning firearms in public places, AKA shall not be infringed. even in California. They know that the state has no authority to ban firearms in public places, period. Shall not be infringed. They would look to ban not only, folks, regular people, but concealed weapons permit holders. San Francisco tried that shit. No one's allowed to carry concealed. Sorry, San Francisco, you don't own the people or the state or the guns. You're just a fucking city/county. It's coming, folks. They're bringing down the politicians. They're bringing down the country. They've torn down the border. They've stolen all the fucking money. What if you woke up tomorrow? Let me ask you this. You turn on the news, click. I just made an old-fashioned TV click and turn noise. Click. The tube warms up, and there's a newsman there. Today, the United States government has declared that they are bankrupt, that they cannot pay their bills. Right? All Americans, your cash is being confiscated by your banks. In an effort to bring liquidity back into the system and keep the banks from failing, do your part as Americans. Do not go to your bank and try to withdraw cash. There is no cash anymore. Central bank digital currency cards will be issued in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Your bills, you don't have to pay until we get the new system going, and you'll have to be back charged for everything you've missed. But you will not be kicked out of your homes. You will just have to pay 20% interest. Your employers will have to learn to pay into the new system of central bank digital currencies. I mean, that day can come, folks. Just as surely as Franklin Delano Roosevelt sat in his desk behind his big fat gut and ass and decided he would say there's a state of national emergency. The American people have to turn their money in. Back then, money was gold and silver, folks. They made gold illegal to own. How the fuck can the government tell you money is illegal to possess? Well, they did it. They didn't get very much from the people, by the way. They're like, fuck you. But they got enough. The weak-minded idiots, the same ones who will set their guns on their front porch, are the same dumb sons of bitches who are like, I'm a good citizen, and I'm going to go turn in my gold. But now that everything's controlled digitally, they'll come right after you. You watch. You can't be employed unless you take the new central bank digital currency. Something's coming, folks. I can smell it. And it don't smell like victory. It smells like shit hitting the fan. Wow. We chewed up an hour talking about name redacted. Says most people will hand it right over. No shit. I hear you. Most people will hand stuff right over. But let me remind you, 80% of the American colonies were Tories. They were British supporters and British sympathizers. 4 out of 5 Americans back then. And there was 3% that openly opposed and fought against the English. Approximately 17% supported them. 1 in 5 Americans fought and supported the war against English tyranny. The rest sat back and were cowards or neutral. Expect the same. Let's do it, man. Let's bring them up. Let's get them done. Bam, bam, bam. Who's next? Barking Wolf Spider. Let most of the population go 3 days without a meal and see how fast everything goes to shit. Oh, it's coming. If they turn off the electricity, the banking system, you bet they're going to. Of course, that's a great way to punish people, to get them to comply. A hungry man is willing to do whatever it takes to get that next meal. Are you prepared? All right. Thank you. Uman, next, please, sir. We've got name redacted again. People haven't protested since Gretchen lesson was taught. Well, we had the Gretchen Whitmer lesson. That is to say, people in the state of Michigan showed up to protest their lockdowns and mandates. She looked at them all and she said, fuck you, citizens of Michigan. And she gave them more lockdown time and more rules and more restrictions. She should have been arrested by the people. But the people of Michigan were good. And SHTF had only just begun. They didn't turn off the electricity. They didn't stop food deliveries and fuel. They had sports and free porn to keep them busy. But you bet, the lesson we were taught about protesting, name redacted, actually came from January 6th of 2021, when Americans learned that if you go to protest where it matters, you can be shot at, you can be beaten, and you can be murdered. And then if you get through all of that, you can be arrested, held without bail, without speedy trial, without legal counsel, without an arraignment, in prison for fucking years. And then if you do get a court trial, you get railroaded, intimidated. You get beaten. You get to live in a cell covered in shit. Oh, yeah. Americans learned their fucking lesson. Fuck you, Washington, D.C. You can burn to the fucking ground and you won't be missed by the rest of the country. They don't manufacture cars in Washington, D.C. They don't refine fuel in Washington, D.C. They don't grow food in Washington, D.C. They don't mill lumber in Washington, D.C. They don't mine for minerals in Washington, D.C. They make nothing but heartache, misery, and taxes in Washington, D.C. They can go fuck themselves. And if they think they're going to have a Hunger Games style world, they've got another thing coming. Because there's about 50 million Americans out here who have had enough of your shit. 1 in 5. Approximately 50 million. They think Hamas is a fucking terrorist organization. No, the government doesn't. They're not afraid of Hamas or Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda or ISIS. They're afraid of 50 million patriotic Americans saying, you know what? We're done. That is a huge motherfucking army, folks. 50 million Americans saying, we will not comply. And if we have the same occurrence as they had, folks, in 1776, with 3% of the population willing to stand up and fight tyranny, 3% of 350 million Americans, 3% of that is 9.5 million people willing to pick up a gun and take the governments down. Who do you think is going to win? If a couple thousand goat herders in Afghanistan can avoid being wiped off the face of the earth, how do you think we're going to fare with 9.5 million people? That's right. Those are not good odds for corrupt, evil, unconstitutional, criminal, scumbag government. Not a threat. I'm not trying to promote violence or danger or anything else. I'm just putting some numbers out there. You guys, chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and yes, shall not be infringed. Get your plan together. Understand, watch. Let's see what happens next. Godspeed.